FlossTube. It's Cheryl and Sophie. Welcome to episode 6 of Tranquil Stitches. It's Monday, May 14th, 2018, and I just wanted to share my pretty little princess with you. She's not very happy. She wants down, so she's not going to stay very long, but just say hi. It's my girl. Rotten. She's shedding really bad. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you coming back to visit with me. If you're new, welcome. I have a lot to show you today, so we'll get right into it. It's a beautiful day in the mountains. It's hot. Last week I told you spring had come, but I think summer's here now. It's hot. Well, hot for here. If it gets 90 degrees, the neighboring town serves lemonade in the town square. So it doesn't get hot here, but it's still warm. I prefer colder, cooler weather. You can put more clothes on, but there's only so much you can take off. And so, but it's nice to be able to get outside and the fresh air and the birds and everything's blooming, and it's just a beautiful time to be alive, and I really love it. First thing I'd like to mention is a very special thank you to Michelle Bendy. Michelle G. Bendy Stitcher. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle made one of my friends extremely happy this week, and she's got a good heart, a good spirit, and I really appreciate her. If you've not checked out her FlossTube, it's Bendy Stitchy, so go over and show her some love. She's a special lady. And along that line, I have some FlossTubers that I'd like to mention in my FlossTube Inspirations. First is City Farmin'. Her name is Sarah. She's a new FlossTuber and tons of energy. She's got just makes you happy and to watch her. She's a cross stitcher. She's actually a quilter as well. She teaches some quilting classes at her quilting guild that she's a member of, which is really cool. I love quilting as well, but I've not ever done any quilting, so that is something that I'd like to do at some point, but looking forward to that. And she has some really cute Maynia starts as well, so if you want to go over and pay her a visit, City Farmin', and I will link all of these as usual all down below. The next lady is Victoria's Creative Crafts. This lady, just super. She reminds me, if you watch Food Network, there is a celebrity on Food Network. He won the Spring Baking Championship, and then he won Food Network Star last year. His name is Jason Smith from Kentucky. Just the sweetest, just the country, and that's exactly who Victoria puts me in mind of. Lord, honey, just down home, country, goodness, just the accent is just enough to just draw you in. You just want to sit on the porch with her in a rocking chair and drink sweet tea and just meal the day away. I mean, she's just a sweet lady. Favorite color is purple, and she is just a joy. So she'll make you smile. Victoria's Creative Crafts. And then the last one I'd like to mention this week is Sampler Bird. And remember, I told you when you make that connection with somebody, it's just really special. I am so very happy that Robin is doing FlossTubes because she is so inspiring to me. I really love everything that she shares. She's been stitching for quite a while, and she does small finishes. She does strawberries and pin cushions and drums and just meticulous finishes and just beautiful things to have around you. You know, in her recent video, she showed all of her Easter finishes that she pulls out every year to decorate with, and just beautiful things. And she gave a very good tip on using whisper threads, and I have some of that, and I plan to use it in my Farmhouse Christmas series on the sheep. And the tip that she gave, I will be using it, since you know, you learn something. I've been stitching for over 30 years, and I have learned so much just watching different people and how they do things, and just the tips that they give. So it's just a wonderful, wonderful community. Her name is Sampler Burden, and that's her channel, and her name is Robin. So go and check her out if you love samplers, and if you love little finishes and things like that, you'll really enjoy her. I don't have an FFO this week. I really didn't delve into that whole process, but I do have quite a bit of things to share with you. And I wanted to, last week I showed you a kitchen finish that was dedicated to my mother, and I have another previous finish that is actually a kitchen prayer, and I wanted to share that with you. This mist is in my way here. Okay, we're going way back. We're going all the way back to 1994, and I told you I learned to stitch probably in 89 or 90, so I hadn't been stitching long when I made this one. And it's my kitchen prayer, and it's on 14 count oatmeal, look, maybe fiddlers, beta, lots of back stitching. But Betty and I are channeling our inner Barbara Mandrell. She was prim before prim was cool, and I was country before country was cool. So this was, yeah, it's a little too country for me right now, but you know, I will probably finish it and still enjoy it, because it's you know, it's part of my past. It says, my kitchen prayer. God bless my little kitchen. I love its every nook. And bless me as I do my work, wash pots and pans and cook. And may the meals that I prepare be seasoned from above, with thy great blessing and thy grace, but most of all thy love. So bless my little kitchen, God, and those who enter in. May they find naught but joy and peace and happiness therein. So it's a sweet little poem. So that's my previous finish I wanted to show you this week. And flipping already. Whips. This week I got a lot of stitching done, but I knew that we were planning to go to the Village Sampler, which is my not so local LNS, on Saturday. So I spent a big part of the week putting things out there on Stash Unloading. My husband and I have an Etsy shop, and we sell vintage items, and it's something we really enjoy. And I typically work a big chunk of each day on Etsy, like a job kind of thing, and then, you know, do my stitching. But I've just not fiddled with Etsy for quite a while now, and I really need to get back into that. But I had some cross stitch stash listed on Etsy that I was destashing, and so when I found the Stash Unloading on Facebook, that group, I decided to pull those things off of Etsy, and along with other things that I had collected over the years, I have got so much stuff that I've just brought from here to there and carried around, and things that I know that I will never stitch, and it's just been building and building and building, and I just need to rehome some of this stuff, because it's just taking up so much room, and I would rather somebody enjoy it instead of it just lingering in a box somewhere in my attic. So I thought I would put some things out there to maybe fund my trip to the LNS. So, and it was actually pretty lucrative as far as what I spent versus what I've sold. So it kind of worked out. So that's what I did a lot of the week. But I did manage to get some stitching in, and I will show you now what I got done. Bless our home. Still not finished with this. I know I said I was going to be done with this week, but I tried, and I'm close, but it's going to happen. So here's where I got to on this one. And I put leaves on the trees. Those leaves were just, there were like 1,000 of them. And then I started the vine on the top. And I wanted to show you that on my little fence, I made one rung of the fence, you know, a little longer and kind of staggered it like that. I liked it better like that than just straight across. And I've got some more ideas on what I'm going to do with it, but stay tuned. And I got some work on this guy done. So I was pretty excited. I got, there it is, the border finished. And I got the yellow done on Ventnor, Atlantic, and Marvin Gardens this week. And I wanted to show you something. Look what happened. Yeah. Pinot Noir. Yeah. Now I'm very careful around my stitching. Ever since the we had a puppy. I call it the Mother's Tree incident. And I'll explain that to you in a later video, but not pretty. So I have always been very careful around my stitching. I drink water, you know, only, but I had my stitching in my little baskets away from my table where my wine sits. But when I knocked this wine off of this table, it hit the floor and literally just everywhere. I mean, it went everywhere. I keep my stitching in Ziploc bags, so everything was protected except for Monopoly, which is too big to go in a Ziploc bag. It kind of sticks out the top. And it did not actually go into my Monopoly. What happened was there were droplets that had gathered on another Ziploc bag. When I picked that bag up, they puddled and kind of fell against my Monopoly. So that's what happened. And I got some droplets, and the only part that concerns me is right here. This little dot right here. And Diana found a link on a website that said that you can use salt to get out red wine. And it's all DMC, so I'm going to wash it. And I'm going to try to get that out with some salt. And if not, you know, it's not, he'll just have to, I'm not starting it over because I got a little wine on it. You know, it's wine. You know, share the love. So, but yeah. Anyway, I think it'll be okay. If it shows a little bit, it's for my son. It shows a little bit. You know, he'll just look at it and laugh and go, "My wino mom," you know. So anyway, I put my things a little bit further away now because, you know, I wasn't tipsy or anything. I just big hips. So anyway, so my Maynia starts. I think I told you that on this. I start a new project every other day, and it falls on odd days. So I did make one of my starts on the 6th, which was Sunday, as a stitch along with Diana. So that was supposed to be the 7th start. So I showed you that last week. So I have 3 starts this week to show you. On May 9th, I started Sleepy Hollow. Raise the Roof. Really, really love this one. And I got 2 squeaky trees done. And I've always started my projects on the bottom left corner. Always. For 30-some years I've done that. But lately I'm finding myself starting in the center. And I don't know why I've not done it sooner, because I like it. And this is Victorian Motto that I substituted on the chart, and that's my first time using Victorian Motto threads. And they're just beautiful. They have a good feel. I like the way they go through the fabric. Just Wonderful. And Lorelei, I do not have any Victorian Motto stash this week to enable you. And I don't know whether to apologize or if that's a good thing. She said that I kind of enabled her. So, so that's my Sleepy Hollow. And then May 11th, I started Primrose Needle Works, a Ghost Alphabet. And I'm doing this on a beautiful heather fabric. And I got the O and the little kitty done. And yeah, I wish I have some glow in the dark threads, and I wish I had used the white on this, but I'm not going to go back and redo it. But it's looking wonderful. That white is just really popping on the fabric, and I can't wait to see this one grow. It's just, this one's going to be really cute. And then on yesterday, the 13th, I started Mary 2 of Plum Street. And Diana's already stitched this one. Hers is just beautiful. And on the chart, the little berries are kind of pinkish. They've got a little pink to them. And I changed that to this beautiful cranberry that I had. This is that was one of those CPR, Cindy's Prismatic Reflection glosses that I have. And I love the way it's dark and then light. And then that's the actual week's kudzu that it calls for. And I'm cutting it really close with this fabric, and I know that. And I'm a little bit nervous about it, but I'm gonna go on because I'm gonna make a pillow out of it, and I think it'll be okay. But yeah, there's gonna be about 1 inch, I think, on all 4 sides. If Stephanie does math, if I've done the math right. So that's my whips for the week. My hair, y'all, Lord, I think it's humid. Anyway, retail therapy. Okay, I never win anything. Y'all gotta understand. I went through my whole life, I never win anything. I'm just one of those people. And when I do win something, it's a big deal to me. And I actually went on one of my favorite companies. It's called Bittersweet Herb Farms, and I'm going to go down a rabbit hole here. I'm just going to warn you, it's not really stitchy related, but it's something that I want to share with you because it's just a wonderful thing. But Bittersweet Herb Farms is one of my absolute favorite companies. When I lived in Richmond, they set up a booth at this big craft fair that they have at the Raceway every year. And I would go every year and I would buy jars of their spices, and I would take them home and use them throughout the year, and then I'd go back the next spring and I would get more spices. So I had this, system. I had a perfectly good system until I moved, and then I really missed the spices. So they have a website, and I've just not got around to ordering anything. And it's funny because I make a dip with one of the seasoning packets, and my sister asks for that dip every time she comes to my house. I'm supposed to have that dip, so it's extremely good. I can't tell you how good it is. But anyway, I entered a drawing that they had for their spring salad bundle pack, and I won. That never happens. But let me show you what I got. I got a bottle of balsamic vinegar with raspberry and fig. I haven't tried this. And another thing that I'm extremely excited about, and it's shaking the laptop, and I'm sorry, but this lemon pepper oil. Look at the goodness. Look at the goodness in that. And it's been really hard not to crack these open, let me tell you, but I wanted to share them with you first. Look at that. Just lemon pepper oil. And then I won a jar of red raspberry jam. And a jar of, this is zesty garlic seasoning. And the seasoning, this is how it comes in these little fat jars. And I wish we had smell-o-vision, y'all. I wish y'all could smell this. And the last thing is an envelope of the savory herb. And this is exactly what, this is my absolute favorite, the savory herb. It's, for the dip, you use 1 cup of cream cheese and 1 cup of mayonnaise. And then you put 2 tablespoons of this seasoning in it, and then let it, you know, like let it marinate. Outstanding. So when I talked to Dave, I was so excited about winning, and I told him, I said, I'm gonna brag on you a little bit on my video on YouTube. And he said, well, you know what? Let me do this for you. He said, your viewers, he said, if they use the code Shirl10, 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 I'll give them 10% off of anything that they order. So if you're not willing to commit to this, you know, they've got these little envelopes and they're very reasonably priced, and you can try a bunch of them first and, you know, and then see. But I thought that was really nice. I'm not affiliated with this company. I'm not getting any kickbacks. I'm not getting, you know, it's just something that I really enjoy, and I just wanted to share with you because, you know, we all like good food, and these make good food. So I just, like I said, I just wanted to share that with you. But he said 10% off your order if you use the code Shirl10 at checkout. And I'll put the link below if you're interested. So that was my win. I was so excited. So, and then I told you last week that I do, I like those needle minders that I've been getting because I've got lots of whips now, and I just need lots of needle minders. So I've gotten several more, but I'm not going to show you all of them. You'll see them on our projects, but I wanted to show you a few of them. This one especially, not my circus, not my monkeys. This week, I let somebody push my buttons, and this person took me to a place that I thought that I was done with in my life. I really did. I thought that I was at the age where, you know, I could let drama just roll off, and, you know, unhappy people making other people unhappy. But, you know, my human nature took over this week, and I didn't handle, there was something that was said that I didn't handle, you know, too well. And I let this person drag me down. And I took a drive, and I just enjoyed the fresh air, and I listened to the birds, and I drove for an hour, and this will tell you how rural we are. I drove for an hour, and not one single car got behind me the entire time. Not one single, because I was going to pull over and let them by so I could take my time. Not one single car the entire hour I drove got behind me. But I just did a, you know, cleansing, and I came home and I felt better, and I, you know, hopefully next time that, you know, I've learned from this, and I hope that, you know, but, you know, everybody, we're all human, you know, and we let things get to us. And so I feel a lot better now. And in the words of the incomparable Bianca Del Rio, not today, Satan, not today. So that's going to be my motto, and this is going to be my needle minder if it happens again. Not my circus, not my monkeys. You know, you're not pushing me. And then I got Miss Marilyn. Can you stand it? She is, you know, too cute. And then, come on, can you stand it? Look at him. These are from Flying Frog Stitchery. I think it was Coffee Stitcher that mentioned them. I was watching his FlossTubes. I think he's the one that mentioned them, and I went to search them out, and I found they've got some really cute ones. Flying Frog Stitchery on Etsy. So that's my needle minders. And then, you know, I was on stash unloading stash, and ended up buying some too. I don't understand. Y'all do. Y'all understand. I got Old Tannenbaum. This one, you know, did the casting a spell with a Halloween box, and I wanted the Christmas box too. So I'll be doing that. And this is Brenda Gervais. A good deal on that one. It's traffic. I'm sorry. And then I got this Homespun Elegance Birds of a Feather. I love this one. This is from 1994. I love that crow. And then it says Redbird. We have Blue Jays, Redbirds, and Cardinal. Yeah. Blue Jays, Cardinals, and Crows here. Oh my. So I like the way they did this one. So I got that from Sandra's Stitch Stash. And then I also got this, Miss Sophie. Isn't that cute? Yeah, that's her attitude and all. So that's that. Now, Victoria Sampler. When we went, it's a 3-hour drive one way. So we left early Saturday morning and drove up, and GPS took us to St. Albans, no problem. You know, we go through Charleston, and which is the capital. A good sneak. I'm so sorry. I got the door open and things are. I don't have allergies, but you know, sometimes at the very beginning of spring, I get a little. But anyway, we go through the state capitol to get to St. Albans, and our GPS told us to turn right onto the street that the shop was on. Well, it's barricaded. We're like, so they were having their Founders Day celebration in St. Albans on Saturday. We didn't know that. Happy coincidence. So we parked, and my husband, God love him, you know, he's so supportive and so sweet to me. I'm a very, very lucky lady, because he just, I just can't tell you, he's just such a wonderful guy. And I saw that shop. Okay, he sees all these booths, and he's like, this is so cool. And he's been needing a haircut as well. So we passed a beauty shop, and I said, well, maybe you can go in there and get your haircut while I'm at the shop. So we went on, and he said he would think about it. We went on, and he's looking at all these different booths, and I'm looking at, I've got that, I was like, shop. So I told him, I said, I'm going to go on in here, and you can mill around if you want, you know. So he did, and he walked around, and so I went into the shop and just kind of stood there for a minute or two and was just, you know, just taking it all in. It's been a while since I've been to an LNS. It's been too long. And there was this man sitting at a table right next to the door. I guess he was kind of monitoring the extra foot traffic, you know, coming in and out. And he was sitting there, and he saw me, and he said, we don't charge any extra for that. And so I knew I was with my people, you know. It was just really, really cute. And so I went on in, and I made my way to the back where the charts were, and I was looking for cinnamon stars. And, you know, that's one that I want that I don't have yet, and they were out of them. But I was in the very back room. So I hear this lady go, there's somebody in there. So my husband had come in, and she thought he wanted to go to the bathroom. So I guess they were letting people from the street use the bathroom. And so he came in to find me, and he said, I'm going to go and see if I can get my hair cut. And he said, they've got funnel cake, and they've got, you know, barbecue, and they've got deep fried Oreos. And I said, and I've got this. So you can go do what you want to do, baby, but I got this. So it was neat. So he finally he went back to the beauty shop and he said, okay, he said it's too girly. I just couldn't do that. And they had people in the chairs doing perms and stuff, and so he wasn't going to wait for that. And he milled on down the road and actually found a barber shop. So he come back with his hair cut, you know, and I was like, you know, so but it was just great being there amongst the fabric and the threads and the Pat, the owner, she said her shop owns her. She doesn't own the shop, which is probably about right. And just a wonderful, wonderful lady. And then Amy works there as well. And, you know, they had the attitude, anything you need, just let us know. You know, anything you need, any questions, anything. I felt really comfortable. They helped me find some fabric, and Terry, another lady who works there, you know, cut my fabric for me very meticulously. And we just had a ball visiting, and they've adopted me. And they said that I fit right in and that I'm welcome anytime. So I'm excited. It is a long drive, but when you're with good company and you've got things to talk about, it goes very quickly. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to take Miss Tina with me, you know, and let my husband off the hook. Maybe he can go fishing or something, and take Tina and we'll just visit and maybe do a little stitching there. In the room there was several ladies there, and I think it was a needlepoint or an embroidery group actually, because they were doing some beautiful pieces. So really, really good visit. And let me show you what I bought. I got Little House Needlework Season's Greetings, and this is from 2014. And again, I've been under that rock because this is adorable. It's so pretty. I like Cardinals. And then I was watching Country Stitchers, and they had picked this up, and I was like, yeah, that's got to happen. It's Turkey Bay by Plum Street. Look at that little guy. The turkey's in the water. So cute. That's going to happen. And then I also got Needle and Thread by Brenda Gervais. This is also one they showed, and I can't remember if it was Liz or Dad. One of them made a comment about her hips, and I was like, oh God, this is me on a pattern. That's my hips. My grandmother calls them birthing hips. She said my family is, all the women have birthing hips. Birthing. No G, birthing hips. Those are some birthing hips there. And then on the side of your thigh, those are corn pones. So I have corn pones and birthing hips. I was blessed, y'all. You just don't, I was blessed. But this is just happening. This is so cute. It calls for a mellow by Picture This Plus, and they didn't have any of that. She had a little piece, but not big enough. So we dove into the fabric stash and found this 32 count doubloon, which is beautiful. And they let me decide where on the yard that I wanted it cut. So I thought, you know, there's a pretty good spot in there. I got the General Arts Camel Corn, and I also got the Classic Colorworks Avocado. Caramel corn is her skirt, and the avocado is the grass. And I think this is going to work on this. I got two options, so I'm going to see. But anytime you've got a big part with variegation, then, you know, I always invest in or find something with a good. But the little parts, you know, you can pick out of your stash. But if it's a big section that's variegated, you want a good variegation in there. So I don't know if it's going to work on this doubloon. And then the other option I picked up was a 28 count Legacy, which is going to make her a little bigger, but I think it'll work as well. It's just a little darker. Look at that modeling. Isn't that beautiful? So she'll end up on one of these two pieces. I really like it. So that was my haul from there. Oh, I also got a couple of little tiny needle minders for Christmas ones. And that was an ordeal because nobody could get the rare earth magnets apart. You know, everybody was trying to pry them, and it was just hysterical. I laughed so hard. I mean, I had tears. It was just so funny. Those girls are just, they're a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And then when I got home, I noticed I've had this hole scaler for years and years. And these are so handy. If your tag is falling off your fabric and you don't know what count it is, this will tell you what count it is. These little lines line up with the holes on your fabric, and it'll tell you whether it's, this one has 11 count, 14 count, which is 28, and then 22 and 18. And this one has worked. There's no 32 and there's no 28 on this one. But I found in my bag that they had put this one in there, and I didn't even know that they put it in there. This one has 18, it has 28 on it, and 14 and 11. It doesn't have 16, so no 32, but, you know, my linen's either 32 or 28, typically. So if it's not 28, it's going to be 32. So that works. But yeah, these little hole scalers are really handy. You know, if you get a piece of mystery fabric and you need to do math stuff, because math, to figure out, you know, how much you need, that hole scaler will help you, you know, determine how much fabric you need for a piece. So that was cool. So let's see. Okay, stitch along. We're really excited about the October 1st stitch along that I'm co-hosting with Amy, and Amy Loves Toads, and Jenny Schwartz, and they're I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I know Debbie and Melody and Victoria, you guys have said that you might be joining us, and that's exciting. Glad to have you guys on board. And then Senorita Stitches, I also follow her on Instagram. I'm not really sure what her name is, but she said that she may do the blocks of Christmas at Hawk Run as ornaments, which will definitely work too. So we're really excited about that stitch along. We've not gotten together about a hashtag yet, but it's still early. So we'll definitely give you that hashtag in plenty of time, you know, to join us. I mentioned last week A Most Noble Pursuit being similar to Hawk Run, and Ellen Chester actually commented on my video, which was like fangirling, you know, I was so excited. But she mentioned that A Most Noble Pursuit is actually a collaboration of 10 designers. And Kathy Barrick was actually one of those designers, and she suggested the format, which makes sense because that's why, you know, it's got that Hawk Run feel, because she suggested that, and they decided to go that route. So this is the Most Noble Pursuit, and I dearly love this chart. Dearly love it. And I will stitch this at some point. But it's a Sampler Circle 2006, and the designers featured, each one of them did a block. Primitive Traditions, Hands to Work, Bright Needle, The Work Basket, Praiseworthy Stitches, Patricia Ann Designs, With My Needle, which that's Ellen Chester, Lottie Da, Stitch and a Prayer, and Carriage House Samplings, which is Kathy Barrett. But that's a Most Noble Pursuit. Isn't that pretty? So that's one that's very similar to the Hawk Run series. So I wanted to show you that. And the last thing, well, next to the last thing, I showed you this last week with the Blue de Sheen cats, and I found my chart for this, and I'd like to share it with somebody. I am over 250 subscribers now, and that's so exciting, and I want to have a little drawing for this chart. So if you are interested in stitching the Blue de Sheen cats, just post I love cats, if you like cats, as a comment. And next week I'll put all the names in a hat and have my beautiful husband draw a name. We might be able to get him on camera drawing a name. So, and then I'll send this on to somebody who might stitch it. The free patterns I had last week that came with the DMC, nobody claimed those, so I'm just going to pass those along on as an extra in maybe one of my stash and loading orders. But so this week I want to share this one. So again, do not mention giveaway. Do not say drawing. You have to be 18. Please be a subscriber. I will check that. And like my video, and then just say I love cats, and that will get you an entry into the drawing for this blue machine. It's gently used, but it's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I didn't spill wine on it. So, and the last thing, I've got a little challenge for you. I've started a hashtag at Instagram. If you're on Instagram, I thought it would be fun if you post your stitching spot that you're stitching for the day, your view. It's it's starting, the weather's beautiful, people are getting outside, they're doing things, they're going to ball practices, soccer practices, just the kids are a lot of end of the year activities. A lot of people are chaperoning and taking their stitching with them, or if you're just sitting in the house and watching your favorite show or your favorite movie and you're stitching, it don't have to be a picture of you. Just show your stitching and where you're stitching, what your view is at the time, and use the hashtag my stitching spot today. Put the today on the end. My stitching spot today. That'll be our hashtag. And then I thought that I would use some of those pictures in my little slideshow at the end of my video. If you post a picture using that hashtag, that gives me permission to use your picture. I'm not going to put any last names on there. I'm trying to figure out a way I can just put the first name on your picture so that you'll know it's your picture. Well, you'll know it's your picture, but nobody else will. So I would like to include a couple of those pictures at the end of my videos. And it's just fun to see where everybody's stitching. If you're stitching outside, if you're stitching inside, just post a picture of your view, what you've got surrounding you. So it's hashtag my stitching spot today. And I'm anxious to see where you're stitching. I do have a slideshow at the end of the video that I'll attach that has pictures of the LNS, pictures of a little roadside park that we stopped at, which was just beautiful. And then we went to lunch on a barge on the river in Charleston. And then also a couple pictures of the Tamarack. I don't know if you've heard about the Tamarack. It's a West Virginia crafters place in Beckley, West Virginia on Interstate 77. And it's just a beautiful there. I got pictures of several beautiful quilts that were on display there in the booths, and some of them were just hanging up. So some pictures of the Tamarack that I hope you enjoy. So those will be at the end. And I appreciate you stopping by this week. I hope you come back next week, and I appreciate you spending time with me. Until next week, happy stitching, and I hope you have some beautiful weather. Bye-bye.